Chapter 2157. Japanese martial arts have emphasized the accumulation, operation, and use of internal forces in the body since ancient times. The so-called Qi meridians, Qi Shandan Tian, Dezhou Tian, and Xiaozhou Tian are all based on this theory. The overall logic of Qigong is similar to the internal force. The most obvious difference is that in addition to its own accumulation, operation, and use, Qigong also has an ability that can be released outside. No matter how strong the internal strength is, it can only rely on one's own body. A good internal master can kill a heavy cow with one punch, or even an elephant with one punch. But even so, he couldn't achieve the ability to kill a mouse in the air. The reason is that the internal force cannot be released outside. After all, the internal force is actually an entry-level low-end version of Qigong, and the spiritual energy is 1,000 miles higher than the internal force. The difference between the two is like the difference between primates and humans. Although the DNA of primates and humans has almost 99% similarity, the gap between the two is still a difference between heaven and earth. No matter how smart a chimpanzee is, it cannot become a human being. Between the two, there is an insurmountable gap. Among Japanese martial arts practitioners, there are at least tens of thousands of people who can master internal qi. However, among these tens of thousands of people, almost none of them can train their internal qi into the aura. If Alex had the help of the tragedy book and the earlier piece of spiritual stone, even if he took a lot of rejuvenating pill, he would not be able to form aura in his body. This is a real great opportunity, an opportunity that ordinary people cannot get in a few lifetimes. Alex naturally couldn't tell Ruoli the actual situation, but the light of the fireflies and the brilliance of the sun and the moon had already shocked Ruoli deep in her heart. She murmured in her heart, "It turns out that his internal strength has reached a higher level. No wonder his strength is so perverted, and he can easily save my life, which is better than the martial art I know. This is so powerful," Alex said calmly at this time. "Although the toxins in your body have been removed, your wound is still open. I will help you pull out the crossbow arrow and then help you clean up the wound." Ruoli looked at the wound on her leg. The crossbow arrow almost penetrated the entire thigh from the base of the thigh. She couldn't help but secretly say in shame, "I am still wearing black tights, but if I want him to help me deal with the wound, he must take off or tear my PTS off. But this part is indeed a bit too private." Seeing that Ruoli was more or less embarrassed, Alex's first thought was, "Otherwise, just let her handle it. She is a professionally trained killer who must be very good at dealing with such small wounds." However, another thought popped into his mind. This woman's character is as strong as an untamed wild horse, and her methods are vicious and cruel. For such a woman, I want her to be honest from tonight. To be submissive, you must first completely wipe out her self-esteem. Thinking of this, Alex said with a cold expression, "Come on, I will help you sit on a single recliner. You lie on it, and I will help you deal with the wound." Ruoli vaguely said, I'll do it myself. Please give me a pair of pliers and some debridement potion and gauze for dressing. It'll all be fine." Alex said blankly, "It's not impossible for you to deal with it yourself, but the legs are rich in blood vessels. When the crossbow arrow is taken out, the wound will bleed heavily. If the wound has injured the artery, once you rush the crossbow arrow and it comes out and the wound opens, your life will be in danger, and if you hurt your nerves, you may be disabled in the future."